Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Aaron's Expeditions, where we talk everything Christ and entertainment. And first and foremost, happy Valentine's Day. In case this is posted on Valentine's Day, probably not.
Happy Valentine's month.
Happy Valentine's month. Happy month of love, guys. I think we're gonna celebrate not just platonic love, not just romantic love, but love as a whole. And may this just continue to go into each and every factor of our life. And as we are here with my guest, we have the one and only, the beautiful, the stunner, the girl, the radiant, always the man, never a man.
What? What is going on?
It is Lady V.
Woo-hoo.
Yay.
I'm gonna need you at all my shows, just introducing me.
Just like hyping everything
Yeah,
up.
just hype me up before any kind of performance or anything. I need you
Just
there.
be like the bare minimum, me in the background. It's V, it's you, it's me, it's her.
I'm gonna need you for sure. I'm booking you. Tell your
Thank
agents
you.
to send me your invoice. I got you.
It's like 80,000. I'm kidding. It's not.
I got you.
It's
Girl.
not.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
it. Happy Valentine's month, girl.
Happy Valentine's month to you too.
Thank you. The month of love, and in the whole theme of love.
Just so you know, guys, I don't know what's going on today. Again, I don't know what's going on.
Throwing you under the bus.
Again, I don't know if it's a 2025 thing, but we're here. Anyways, go on.
We're here. So I'm gonna need you to answer before I tell you what. Just tell me, true or false.
Okay, I can do that.
True or false.
I can do it.
I
can do it.
Just say true or false.
Okay.
So pick true or false, and then I'm gonna
False.
give you.
False.
Sure. Cool. So you answered
I'm scared.
false. Now you need to tell me why you think the next statement is false.
Okay.
Is Valentine's Day overrated? Now you gotta like you gotta think. Is it?
This is the thing. Is it's going to be very hard for me to answer this question from a what is it called? A subjective point of view.
Oh, an objective point of view.
Objective. Sorry. Oh, girl. Objective. Is it overrated?
You went with false, girl.
So I said false. It's
Yeah.
not. I've never celebrated Valentine's Day, so I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know how to
Really?
answer this question. I'm gonna be real. I have my own reasons why I don't
Yeah.
celebrate it, because I don't have really the best memories that have nothing to do with Valentine's Day
Yeah.
itself, but things happen around that time in my past. So so normally, because of the trauma that I have from that time, every relationship that I've had, I've been like, I don't celebrate it, don't do anything. I just don't want to do anything. But now, would I want to be celebrated? Why not? Why not?
Slay.
You know?
Absolute slay.
But at the same time, I'm gonna be, I don't want to say devil's advocate, but I'm gonna be an advocate of the opposite of that.
The advocate is not his.
But not his. Exactly. I just want to make it clear.
We are
But-
children of the light
Yes.
in this place.
But the other thing is with me, I think I'm very, again, it's not for everyone, but I think with me, I always want to know where things started.
Yeah.
So the things that I've heard about Valentine's Day are what make me feel like, but then at the same time, I'm like, why aren't you celebrating me every other month of the year? You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of thoughts that I have about it, but I'm curious to know what you think. Even though
If
this
I
was at
think
me.
it's like true or false, or
Yeah.
just oh goodness,
Is it overrated for you?
So
I think every girl, the little girl in all of us.
I've also pretty much never really celebrated Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
However, I really hope he doesn't watch this. Please.
And then this video goes viral.
So in 2024, on Valentine's Day, I was actually doing my audition for
The show that you got.
no for
This.
for I Am.
Yeah.
And wait, was it?
Was it Valentine's Day?
Yeah. Like I was doing an interview for another radio station. I didn't get the job. I mean, but that day, and then the guy that I liked around that time, he was like, "Oh, Erin, I need some help to film some stuff," and I was like, "Yeah, sure, I can help you." And then we just drove to his old school and like we filmed some stuff, and then we got like dinner. I'm called it dinner, like lunch, dinner.
Oh yeah.
We got dinner in between,
Okay.
and even though it wasn't like outly like we are celebrating Valentine's Day, it was just actually so nice because we realized we were wearing like the same color
Matchy
scheme.
color. Yeah.
Like he was wearing a black shirt, I was wearing like a black skirt dress thingy, and both of us were wearing white shoes. And
Just
everyone,
a cute moment.
Nah, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, look cute!" I was like, no, we're really just friends." um, so, I hope you don't see this one.
Gosh.
But yeah, I think
This is
Valentine's
why you're not
Day
supposed to have a podcast, because you'll be taking out your business and other people's
That's so
business.
real.
But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, like we're good now, but I think Valentine's Day is actually a nice day where, like, just celebrating love as a whole.
Yeah.
So it was nice to celebrate the day with a friend,
Yeah.
even though around the time it was like woo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
But
love in general.
I will say, like, if we're being real, when you're single out on Valentine's Day, it's not the best time. I remember when I was
Sure.
the thing is, guys, when I was single, I loved going out and I liked taking myself out. I was spending my money on me, and I said, you know what? We going out. Like, I would go out on a random weekday, like it was, you know. And I remember I went out on, I think it was 2022, Valentine's Day, or 2021. I can't remember, one of the 2 years or both years. But one of the years I went out, and I was just like, 2021 I went out on Valentine's Day. I was like, this is good, you know. 2022, I'm like,
What is this day?
I don't want to be here.
14 February.
All these couples just remind me of how single I am. So I do think we do, for the people who aren't in relationships, it is kind of a tough time for them, because seeing other people be celebrated, and not that we're jealous, it is a beautiful thing that you want people to experience, but you also want to experience it as well. So I do think that's why I'm also an advocate for Galentine's and things like
Girl,
that.
I had a Galentine's literally
Really?
when like after I spent the day with my friend.
Yeah.
I had a Galentine's afterwards. And I
How
like,
was it?
It was so nice.
It is so nice. You don't
was
even
so
really
nice.
feel that, oh, this is for couples, but you feel like it's a
you and the
date to be,
girls.
yes,
You and the
it's a
girls.
date to be celebrated. And who says we shouldn't even be celebrating with our
Exactly,
friends?
and you have Bruin
Broentines?
Times. Yeah, let's make that as well. Gaientines.
Galentine's. Broentines. I think I like
I think
Broentines.
Broentines like it fits a bit more. So I thought about like rom-coms,
Ooh,
and
girl.
especially when you think about the like the mid 2000 kind of rom-coms, like the 10 Things I Hate About You, the Princess Diaries, as we spoke about earlier. What's that one with the landscape guy and then the girl? Oh my word, it's on Netflix.
Explain.
So it's this movie about this woman, and she's like career driven and everything, and then she meets this guy who's like a landscaping artist, and they're like, oh my word, it's not gonna work, we're too different.
I can't remember.
Really? It is
No, I'm
such
thinking.
a good film. So like basically like films,
Yeah,
like
but I get what you're
rom-coms.
saying.
So how do you think, especially the media and rom-coms, how they have influenced our perception of love?
Girl, do you have time?
Girl, I
Because
feel it.
I think before I took my relationship with God seriously, there were certain expectations that I had, or certain things that I thought were normal,
Sure.
because of what I was consuming in rom-coms.
Mm.
And I'm not saying we shouldn't watch rom-coms, but I
Love a
think
good
we need
rom-com.
to separate the fact that I'm watching a movie and
Yeah.
this is real life. And I'll
Yo.
give you an example. One of the biggest things is, like, I thought because of rom-coms, I was young,
There
guys.
it is.
I was young.
There it is.
But I thought every time you have a disagreement with your partner, the partner needs to have some grand gesture every single time.
That's real.
I thought, okay, we have a misunderstanding now today.
Stand outside my window.
Stand outside my window with the boombox. Sing to me in the rain. So I
need a
know
whole,
it's
like,
real.
Boyz II Men
Yes. Can
thing.
we go back? So I know that it's real.
That's so good.
So-
It's true.
Yeah, it kind of ruined me. But I was like, okay, but what if we're having disagreements every fifth day? Am I expecting that every fifth day? Because that is
Amen.
gonna actually annoy me. Like,
Honestly.
if I'm being honest, if
It's
you're
like it's
outside
9
my
PM.
window at 9 o'clock in the rain, boomboxing every fifth day or every no. Like, let's be real. We have other things to. Let's go read the Bible
Honestly.
or something. So I do think there is elements of it that has created. Also, there's a sense of pride that it has created because in a
Sure.
lot of rom-coms, no matter who was wrong, the guy needs to be the one who apologizes,
Yo, that's real.
right? And I'm not saying the guy shouldn't apologize. What I'm saying is it made me become prideful and start thinking that I am never wrong. And I
Yo.
promise you that until I got into a relationship in 2020, end of 2022, that relationship, like, I couldn't ever see myself wrong. It didn't matter what I did. I'm
Like,
never wrong.
Even if I'm wrong, I'm right.
Yes, I'm right. You should apologize to me
Sure.
that you misunderstood me and that made me mad. How about that? You know? And in that time, like, God had to to pick at little things that I was doing that were coming from pride, were coming from things that I was watching and that were made norms on social media or on rom-coms. Yeah, so it has had a huge effect on how I viewed love and relationships, and God had to start from scratch with me.
Sure. I think, man, I did not expect the whole thing about I'm right all the time, because that's actually very true.
Yeah.
That's so true. And something that really just got me is also how it's almost been normalized that, you know, at a certain age, you should have been quote unquote experienced.
Oh, yeah.
And then I meet everyday people and they're like, I've never had my first kiss. I've never done this. I've never had a boyfriend. And I'm like 25 or something.
And we start to look at people weird because of that.
Yeah.
I'm
And
like,
it's
what?
so weird, especially like in like the teenage kind of rom-coms. And then they kind of push this whole notion of you should have, you know, done all of these things.
Another thing that rom-coms created, oh, girl, I'm exposing myself. I thought, she said she's going to expose me, but okay, cool. Anyway, I thought that I need to find my love in high school. I
need
wanted
that
a high school sweetheart because of the rom-coms that I was watching at the in high school and stuff. I'm like, and by the time I was in matric, I remember, and I'm not saying the person was a terrible person. That was actually a good person.
Just to disclaim.
Just a disclaimer.
Yeah.
To everybody who knows who it is. I'm not saying the person was bad.
Yeah.
But I do think that I got into that relationship because I was like, my time to get a high school sweetheart is running out in 8 months. So we need to make this work.
And let's make time for prelims
Yes.
and for records. And
So I literally got with a part of the reason they were a great person, whatever, but this person was my friend, and it could have just stayed a friendship, but it went beyond that. And I think my mind was operating, matric is over. Get your sweetheart right now. Like, right now, girl.
You need to have a university babe.
Yes, you're going to do the long distance, see each other, try and make it work. Guys,
Hey, as for long distance.
I tell you. So I do think that was one of the other things that it influenced in my
Sure.
thinking. And I remember when it didn't work, because it didn't even last long, guys. It didn't last even 3 months, I think.
Wow.
I remember I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die alone. I remember crying. At that time, I wasn't really serious with Christ. I really thought I'm going to be single the rest of my life. And now I'm like, girl, you're still young,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I definitely think like the whole, like, you know, rushing into stuff is so prevalent in a lot of media and rom-coms.
Yeah.
And like, I can't blame them, because someone who's also like, you know, as like both of us who's in the industry, you know, it is, you need to make a story, guys.
Yup.
We gotta write that script. We gotta film that thing. We gotta get the Academy Awards and whatever. But then, as you said, to separate story world from reality, because don't rush into love just because.
Yeah.
I've been a victim many times. Like in grade 10.
This is an exposing session.
Girl, I knew at the moment. I was like, February
We're
is
gonna
a
talk
month of
about-
love.
We're going to
I'm
expose
about to expose
ourselves.
myself. So in grade 10, there was this guy I really liked.
Yeah.
And I remember I wrote a letter because I was like, I just feel so much and I need to write it. I need to get it out of my system.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell him. So I wrote the letter and I showed it to my dad asking for advice. My dad's like, yeah, no, girl, you have 15, like don't worry about guys right now.
Yeah.
15 more years. And then you can start worrying about guys.
Guys, I remember, you reminded me of something my dad did also in the same situation. My dad, I remember this guy, when I was dating him, he was sending me food at my house and it was a thing, And then and you guys, this was the part of the rebel stage in my life. I once mentioned that I had a rebel stage. But my dad and my mom called me because I was misbehaving. They called me for a meeting. Cool, we're sitting there. They're addressing all the stuff that they don't like about what I've been doing. Cool, fine. And then my dad's like, last thing, do you have a boyfriend? I remember I said, you know what? I'm going to give you the answer. I'm not lying about this. I said,
Sure.
yes. I looked at him dead ass in the eyes and said, yes, I do. And he's like, why? I remember. I'm like, because... And then
That's vile. Oh my word.
and the thing is, I was so prideful, guys. And I remember he's like, do you think this is gonna last? And I was like, yes. And then he's like, do you think this man is gonna, or this boy is gonna be
As
with
for a
you?
boy.
And then I said, yes. But in my heart, I knew that, guys, low-key in my heart, I knew it was a no, but I was just being prideful. But I just remembered that when you mentioned your dad, I'm like, yo,
No. The
dads.
thing is, like, I'm so glad my dad was actually like, girl, 15 more years. But I was like, okay,
15
father.
is a stretch.
I was like, I will not be waiting until like I'm
30.
30 to
Hold on.
actually, not saying like I'm going to be crazy and be like, we're the men.
Moving on.
But yeah, sorry, that was so funny.
Oh my gosh, tears.
But yeah, like it was so funny because I'm like, love is genuinely just such a funny thing. And I think like sometimes like when we think about then like taking that to our faith.
Yeah.
We're like, no, Lord, like I want this. I want a guy who looks like a dinosaur. I want a guy who looks like a puppy and all of these things.
Yeah.
And now you're like,
But what
Lord.
about the attributes of
Exactly.
that make a good partner?
exactly.
Right?
Like we are so focused on like the physicality of it. Like we want to be like, Lord, he's going to be tall. Guys,
And also, like, another thing that I've noticed in rom-coms, for example, also even in social media, the agenda of, even though things don't, again, everyone's relationship is very different, but I think for relationships to work, it's scientifically proven. You need to have same views on finance,
Yeah.
same views on
Religion.
beliefs or whatever. If you both are not religious, if you both are religious in the same, whatever, or like there's certain things that make a relationship work. I forgot the 5 step or keys that
because you need,
contribute to a
like-
successful.
like you need more. Like a relationship needs more than just love. Love is like the most important.
Yes, love
but
is a
we
great
need to
thing.
have these things in order.
Absolutely. So for me, it I wasn't looking at guys that, okay, does he have the fruit of the spirit? Because I'm a human being. I need to be dealt with by a person who has those things, a person who's going to be patient with me, be kind with me, even though which is something that I think I mentioned to you. I was like, one thing I realized when I last year is that I need, not last year, the year before, like sometimes I don't realize that I'm doing things wrong. So if I had someone who was like not patient with me, didn't know how to speak to me, then I would shut down or become defensive.
Yeah.
So those things like the fruit of the spirit, the way that God sees a man needs to be. I think that is very important in how we do relationships. So yeah.
I definitely think also like, you know, having that intentionality behind it.
Yes, that's another thing.
Because like I know some people aren't like date to marry. But I think more so because date to marry I think kind of adds this pressure like I'm looking.
But
If
what's
you
wrong
look
with
at
it?
me, but I think like coming in with a way of like date with intention.
Yes.
I'm not gonna date you just because.
But
you're
if you're
cute."
being intentional, it
Yeah.
means that you are
We
thinking
are like
about marriage
yeah,
anyways.
like in long term.
Yes.
So I am intentionally with you because I'm looking for A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
And those are the things I want in a person.
Yeah.
For like, do I want someone who wants to be a father? Do I want someone who wants to be a husband? Because if those are the things you want to do, like for example, I want to be a mother one day. I want to be a wife one day. Why on earth would I be rocking with a guy who's like,
I don't want
let's just date?
Or let's go with the flow.
Chummy, the going with the flow ain't my ministry.
No.
I need
No.
like I
And
need
the
to
thing-
see the planning and everything.
The thing
happening.
is, another thing I've seen in rom-coms is that sometimes you get a storyline where the girl is in one state and the guy is in the other state. And I'm not saying long distance relationships doesn't work, but it works, but only if both of you are intentional and have a plan on what's going to happen after this. For
And has to
example,
close it.
yes, the distance needs to be closed. If you're
Yeah.
going to do long distance with no plan of not doing long distance anymore, it's not going to work. And a lot of the times we get the story of how people fall in love. One's from the city, one is from the countryside. And then after that, they fight, and then one goes back to the city, and then they come back together and they're like, I'm sorry, I think we can make this work. But nobody is speaking about how we're going to make this work. You know what I'm saying? And then the story ends before we figure out whether or not they end up together, married, they end up having kids. And I'm not saying every story needs to be that way, but I do think if we base our relationship knowledge off of that, then we will be disappointed when we have to practically live out relationships.
And I definitely think also like in terms of actually just I wrote this down because when was it? Like last year we had a Bible study at church and it was about unconditional love. And something that I actually wrote down was, where is it now? It is that love isn't just a feeling. It's more than just a need or a tolerance. It's an action. And I think definitely like when we think about how God's love has been time to time, it's been like pursuing, reaching, I'm here. Remember that I love you. I've loved you with an everlasting love. That isn't just like you're kind of cute, I guess. Like when God speaks about love, I mean, he is love.
Yeah.
So he doesn't play when it comes to how to go about it.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think we as people, believers or not, we are lacking this sense of understanding of what love is and how to live in it.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I was having the conversation with my mom this morning about relationships, and she was talking about how people who are hurt by other people in relationships react, and she's like, but why do people choose to hurt other people after they've been hurt and those kind of things. And I think I remember telling her, and I'm like, if we all did love God's way, then there's a certain we wouldn't be so anxious to get into a relationship. I think society now has become very anxious when it comes to relationship, that we operate on hurt or be hurt. And because we don't want to be hurt, therefore we operate on, I need to beat you to whatever that you could possibly do, right? So I think the biggest thing, like you've highlighted, is that we need to operate and do love the way God intended for it to be, right? And know why he intended for it to be that way. We know, like, there's so many verses that, yes, the 1 Corinthians 13 that talks about love is this, love is that, but even in a relationship, God values marriage. We know that we can't do something without thinking about marriage. It's either you don't do dating like Paul, or it's marriage. You know what I mean? And there is no time of you need to get married in 6 months or a year or 3 years or whatever. I think the important thing is the marriage aspect, right? But also
it's more than just signing
papers. Yes, knowing what marriage is to God, the covenant that you're agreeing, or you getting yourself into, you know? As a man, what does God expect from you? As a woman, what does God expect from you? And with those two equations, once you practice or practically try and live out what God says about the woman and what God says about the man, that equation will help us build something that will be successful.
Sure.
And it doesn't mean that it won't have issues, because at the end of the day, we are people. Like I mentioned to you, how God has been working on my heart to see my partner as a person, or as he sees me, right? And that helps me understand that I need to deal with the person with a little bit more patience. You know, the way God is patient with me, I make mistakes, I get back up and I apologize and I repent, and then I make steps to not do the same thing again.
Like, how do we improve this?
Yes, exactly. So I think the best formula is God's way. I think that is the best way to do it, because I don't think he will tell a woman how to be and men how to be and have that clash.
Yeah.
If he says these...
It's a puzzle piece.
Yes, it's puzzle pieces, exactly. So, yeah.
Wow. Wow. Oh, you knew it was coming.
Yes, I knew it. I knew it, girl. We here now. We here.
So, yeah, very interesting chats.
Yeah.
A lot of exposure.
Ooh, girl.
A lot.
I'm going to take 6 months before I come back here again. I think I've done a lot for January and Feb. I've done a lot.
Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to comment, to like, and to subscribe.
Yeah.
And yeah, then I'll see you guys in March with a brand new episode. Till then, goodbye, everyone.
Bye.